Good afternoon, Cougar owners. This is Jesse here. Just wanted to share my 1967 Cougar XR7 with you. I bought this car in 2011, in the winter of 2011 from the original owner. This is a 39,700 mile Survivor. I bought it at 33,000 miles, and just wanted to kind of walk around with you guys and show you an original car and how original this was and how good this guy took care of it, and just preserving it and not really changing much over the course of time. I think I probably did a little bit more than he did, but very minor changes, and we'll walk through the car. So anyways, this is 1967. It is a Iverness green 1967 XR7 with the pinstripes. When it comes to the options, I still have the build sheet, and I have the original sticker, and we're going to kind of look at that a little bit later. I had installed the 15-inch wheels, which are BF Goodrich, and the steel style wheels from California. They don't have the trim rings. These are 15 inches, so it kind of looks like the original, but not necessarily the 14 inches, and I think they look pretty good. I do have the original steel wheels along with the hubcaps. Sometimes I put them on for shows, but not too much. They have the bias ply tires. So this is 39,000 miles. The car basically sat in the garage its whole life, and the paint is original. As you can see, if you look closely, there's a lot of nicks and stuff on the fenders, and kind of walk through it, and you can kind of see that this side was especially hit by a lot of lawnmowers and snowblowers over the course of time, and it's got dinged up a little bit from some parking lot damage. The top is original. It's got this little rip in here. Not sure how that came about. The guy never told me how it came about, but that did come with the car like that. But aside from that, the top is in really good condition. The car was garaged its whole life and probably never saw rain or snow the whole time this man had it. He never took it out. I remember seeing the car when I was 14 or 15 years old in middle school, and I begged him to sell me the car, and he would not. It was 25 years later that he decided to sell me the car when he was 83 years old. So here's the other side. You can see a little bit of road rash on the bottom. But the wheel moldings are in good shape. Overall, the paint's in really good shape for being over 50 years old, I think. And the top looks pretty good. I've cleaned it up, and obviously I've treated it a little bit. And you can see right in here, there's really no bubbling or rust or typical things that you get from the Cougars with vinyl tops. It's got the original bumpers on it. I've added dual exhaust. This is a 289 4-barrel 8-code motor, which had the single exhaust, but I took that off, and I put dual exhaust to make it sound a little bit better. It's got the original tail lights. I have changed the sequential turn signal mechanism so I could pull some of the electrical load off of all the switches and wires, and I put an electronic one in there. The old one did work, but it was kind of slow, like most of the originals. So let's take a look at the interior. Here, the interior is the original black leather interior. It's never been restored. Nothing's ever been taken apart. None of the door panels or anything has been taken apart. You can see back here, I've got a box up here, goes apart. Got the original seat belts back here. Headliner is still original. Hasn't fallen apart. Now, this was actually, originally you would think this was maybe a Southern car that was preserved. You could kind of see the person had put a mirror holder up there. That's been there probably since the 60s. I haven't taken it off because obviously he ruined that passenger side with that mirror. And then I have the door thing there that's been there since I bought the car. But you can see the chrome's in really great shape. Everything is really original. Now all the lights work, toggle switches work, all the gauges work. You can see that the steering wheel's in great shape. It's never been messed around with. The chrome is good. It's not pitted. Get close up on it. You can look at the mileage. This is really truly a car that hasn't been messed with. It's only got 39,750 miles now. If you look at that dash, look how straight that is. It's absolutely perfect, just like it was from the factory. This guy had it in a dark garage, so that probably helped. There wasn't much light on it. Here you got the door jambs. You can see it's never been painted, but I'll tell you what, they did not do a good job back in '67. But then again, it was 1967, so you can kind of see that you know, the quality control wasn't where it was, but he took the best care that he can. And if you look in here, you know, Don Rush, I really admire when he goes through a Cougar and he kind of combs right through it. You can see right here the handles, everything in a really good shape. You know, everything's in good shape. The 67 only still works good. Don't really want to pull on it too hard. The lights work. These go up and down. The chrome right here is still like new. Inside, you can see the handles are in great shape. They go down. The rubber's in really good shape still. I got the car light, original. Windows, front, back, sides. Everything is original. All the way down to the wipers. And I'm not sure if you can actually look on here, but you can see that these are Tricos, but they have the serial numbers. I want to almost say that these are original, right? Original wipers. It's crazy. If you look up here, it's got the original tint on the top, right? Down in here, you don't see too much rust or anything like that. You can see how they just kind of sprayed through the vents and it wasn't perfect back then. If you look here, you can see the pinstripes were all done by hand back then. You can see the inconsistencies. Nowadays, you see a lot of restored cars are almost over-restored to the point where, you know, these guys did this. You could kind of see where this guy started the pinstripe. And he worked his way all the way down here. And that was an option back then too, you know. And it was done at the factory. Let's go ahead and open up the motor here. See what the motor looks like. Had a couple squirrels get in there over the time. And you can see that the hood pad seen better days. When I first got it, it was in better shape, but it's progressively gotten worse over time. But overall, I can't really complain for its age. This is a 289 4-barrel, all original. Now the carburetor, I have the original carburetor that I'm going to restore, but I put one on here just to run it, along with the radiator, which I have the original radiator that I have to restore and put a new one on. But aside from that, this thing is completely original. Original valve covers, original oil cap, original distributor. The cap obviously is not. I have the original cap and the original spark plug wires to the car. Intake, alternator, power steering, water pump. Take a look at this water pump. Can you imagine after 50-something years that water pump is still working and not leaking? Incredible. Have the original, obviously not the original battery. Someone would probably say something. Look at that part number. Still got the C7 part number for the starter solenoid. I added new shocks, obviously, over the course of time. Those shocks basically slammed the car to the ground because it just sat forever. Here we've got the original frame here. You can see this right here has never been cracked open, never been moved, never been shimmed. It's crazy. On this side right here, I have the original inspection stickers to the vehicle. I've replaced the brakes since I've gotten the car. I had the original Midland power booster rebuilt, and I put that back onto the vehicle. And you can just see that it's just in great shape and actually absolutely runs well. Motor-wise, I never cracked it open until 2019. And it was just a few weeks ago I decided to crack it open, is because the valve covers were leaking, the intake manifold was leaking, and there was some ticking that was going on in the back because obviously it sat for so long. I ended up changing the lifters and the push rods to make it sound a little bit quieter. There was no damage on the inside. It was absolutely clean on the inside of the motor. So you'd imagine that, you know, a car like this would have the documentation to back it up too. And sure enough, this guy was really meticulous when it came to actually the documentation. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you exactly how meticulous he was. Doors absolutely open and shut perfect. This was the original keychain and the original keys from the dealer. Right, you can see it's old, still got the original tag on it. I mean, who has this anymore? Where rarely do you find that? Okay, this was the original brochure from the actual dealer that this man had bought this from. This was pretty much exactly the same car he bought, with the exception of the interior color, and ours had a vinyl top. But as you can see over here on the spare tire, okay, this original spare was a Goodyear, and I think it might have been used once, but those were the caps, the wheel covers. He had the original, I still have the original owner's card, along with the actual owner's manual. This car literally had a 24,000 mile warranty for a basic vehicle, but then he had a 5 years, 50,000 mile powertrain warranty. Can you imagine that? I wonder if it's, no, it's not, it's still under warranty. It has less than 50,000 miles. How funny. So I had bought that Motor Trend, you know, magazine after the fact, but he had all the 67 stuff that would go all along with it. You had the maintenance lubrication manual. You got this at the dealer. You got plan ahead. And look at this. Over in Connecticut, and this is where this car came from. Literally, he had his registration cards from 1967 all the way to 2009. And just after that, this was a 2-year registration, and he sold it to me in 2011. So literally, I have every one, with the exception of a couple, that actually lost its way after I had bought the car. Now, if you go back here, I literally have the first registration for this car. It was a Mr. Doherty. He had since passed away, but look at this. ES7334 was the registration number, the plate number, right? Back in 1968 was the expiration date. August 24th is when they sold the vehicle. That's when he literally sold the vehicle. Everything lines up. I have a lot of things that say August 24th. This was the original build sheet when I first got it. I kind of took that from underneath the front seat just to see what it looked like. Didn't want it to get damaged. It's in absolutely good shape. You can see there was a couple issues right over in this area. Apparently, I guess they had some areas that had to get fixed. All right. I don't know that much about the build sheets, so can't really talk to them. Just below this is actually the envelope from Connecticut, the registration envelope that it came in the mail. So I had mentioned, you know, the actual plate number was right here, ES7364. Look what I got here. I got the ES7364 plates. Literally got the plates. Moving on over here, we got the original car window sticker. He kept that. All right, don't even have to go to Marty for this one, right? So this thing, bottom line, was $3,932, and you can see that I didn't realize, but the bumper guards, see these rear bumper guards over here, those were optional, right? The front ones were optional. The wire wheel covers was optional. I had the AM radio, and believe it or not, it still does work. The power steering was optional. The power brakes, now these are power drum brakes all the way around, and then I had the 4-ply nylon tires was $82. Didn't even realize that was an option. I don't know what they came with originally. In the Oxford roof, obviously, that was an option. And then you had the Super 289 4-barrel. All right, that was an option. Okay, but the paint wasn't. Pretty neat. Kept that, right? He bought this from Penn Lincoln Mercury back in 1967 from Springfield, Massachusetts. Right, and believe it or not, this was from Penn, right? Look at that, the original brochure from the actual place that he got it from. And look, he even has the guy that gave it to him, right? George Butler. He's the one who probably sold him this vehicle in 1967 and worked a deal with him. It's pretty amazing. Now the lights, everything works. You know, even the trunk light. I go in here, it's got the original trunk lights, has all the original. Let's plug this in and see if it works. Yep, I bet you it does. See, look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that. Boom. Still works. I come in here. Just start this thing up. I got 2 sets of keys for this, and they gave him another dealer. Absolutely idles well. Still pretty cold, but
You can you know, I'm sure it's like a player
It's got the
winning the Super
Mercury
Bowl,
radio and
or
it still
you
works.
can't wait, or
Speaker's
you win the
not
Masters,
broken.
you know.
I actually listen to it sometimes. You want to listen to AM radio? Got the clock. I put a quartz. I put a quartz motor in there so this would work. So this actually still works. It's off time because I unplugged the battery from time to time. It's got the original T handle. Lights inside it still work. All the courtesy light works. Look at that. The door works. When it runs low on fuel, it still works. Look at that. 50 pounds of oil pressure. It's amazing. Goes at 289, getting at 600 RPM. Runs really, really well. Really quiet. Since I changed the lifters and adjusted them. Let's turn on the lights. See if those work. Right. Got the original vacuum on there. These are the original vacuum things on there. The lights are working pretty good. Right. I even have the original seal beams, right, from Ford. Crazy. That's a General Electric. I don't know, maybe it is a different. Maybe someone can tell me if they were or not. Okay, so this one's a Ford, right? There's the General Electric right here. Chances are they probably aren't original. That one's a Ford Fomoco right there. So I'm kind of curious if these are actually Fomocos, these high beam ones. Maybe someone can tell me. But I guess General Electric made the original ones, right? Look at this. This has definitely got to be original. Look at that. Look at the overspray on this. Down from the factory. You never realized you had some overspray on this right here. I wonder how that got there. I know the car was never painted. Turn on the blinker here. Yeah. That works nice, right? Let's go to the right side. Right side works nice, right? Original reverse lights. You know that Cougars had these gray ones. You know, the repos are like black. I think maybe you can get the gray ones now, but show you a little bit about what happened back in 1967. Look at those runs. Absolutely abysmal when it comes to quality control, but that's okay. You know, this was one of those production cars back then. Here you got the original Cougar emblem up there. It's been sticking around since 1967. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to turn off the lights right now. See how they go down. I think I might just go ahead and get Don Rush to send me out a grill straightener. Turn off the blinkers. And you might see that sweater there, right? And that's kind of a thing that I'll leave in the car. The owner's wife actually made that back in the early 70s, and she gave me that. She wanted me to have that when I bought the car. Really nice woman. She was in her 80s when she gave it to me. God often talks about conditions of these. Look how clean that looks. Look how dark it is. Really, really good shape. Right? So it has all the original wiring. Right? Notice how these aren't really pretty from the factory. It's never been messed with. Never been messed with. It's got the original firewall, not the firewall, but shock power stickers on it. You used to have these right over here, but those kind of wore off over time. If you look over here, it's got the power steering holders. They're still on there, all the way in the back. Nothing's been pulled off of it. Now, fuel pump was changed. When I first bought it, fuel pump was all dried out. Couldn't use it. Couple things here. The mat, absolutely original, right? Underneath You know, Don has always talked about how there's always a rust spot right around here, right underneath here. This one's absolutely pristine. There is no surface rust whatsoever. This car never hit the rain. It's never seen the rain, never seen the snow. See inside how clean that is. Both sides, right? All right, still got the original screws back here. Now they don't line up, they're horrible, but the original covers. Guy took his maintenance seriously. He even bought one of these right here, which was a actual manual for the Mercury. Coming down here, this didn't say XR7, so apparently in 67 the XR7 you get the XR7 decal back here. I think the 68s probably started that, or maybe the really late 67s. Kind of lines up pretty good, but not great. One thing I did notice also about this car is when I took it apart and I changed the lifters, what was odd was the intake manifold on the inside said 302, but the heads were 289. And it seems like this car was really a late car that was made. I believe it was made in July or June, so they're already gearing up for 68. Look over here, you can kind of, the door tag right here still has a door tag, still has the tire pressures. Right. Still original. You can see it's never been painted over. Absolutely wonderful. It's still got all the rubber down here. It's clean in the corner. Still got the rubber underneath it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the walk around of my Cougar. Feel free to comment. See all the trim. There's a little, you know, some things and stuff. No pitting whatsoever. None whatsoever. This car is really good. It's starting to sprinkle, so I'm going to bring the car in. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Leave your comments. Have a great day. Love the Cougar.